Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Hope you have a great day if you haven't started. Hope you're having a great day if you have, and if you finished for the day, hope you had a great day. Just want to talk a bit about everything that's kind of going on, well, surrounding the election, I should say, because that's the thing that they always keep us focused on. And apparently there was another attempt on Donald Trump's life. Um, so I don't know all the ins and outs about it, but that's just what I heard about yesterday, and saw a few little clips about it. But and it just kind of reminds me of that Simpson episode uh, where they talk about what was going to happen to Donald Trump, and it's just sad the way some people believe about what's happening toward this man, and whatever your thoughts are, that's on you. But the reason I share the things I share is because I am not tolerant of the things most of society tolerates, especially black people. I mean, look at what Kamala Harris did to garner black people's support during the DNC. She threw in Megan Thee Stallion to capture the men. She threw in Little John to capture the younger crowd. She threw in Common to capture the middle-aged crowd. She threw in Patti LaBelle and Stevie Wonder to capture the old heads. She threw in Steve Kerr to capture the basketball addicts, which many blacks are. She threw in Jonathan McReynolds to capture the black Christians. And she threw in Kenan Thompson to capture the ones who are into comedy. Now, everybody she threw in y'all's faces was to entertain you. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but politics is supposed to be a serious event. The DNC was supposed to be a serious event. And all she threw in front of y'all was people to entertain you. She treated black people no different than the system has always treated us. All we know how to do, according to the system, is dance, sing, tell jokes, shake a little ass. And that's exactly what she put in front of us because she doesn't think we are capable of critical thinking. See, entertainment lulls us into complacency. And we keep trying to identify with people who don't identify with us. Harris talked about India's Independence Day on August 15, 2020. And in that clip, she says she stands before the people as candidate for vice president of the United States, who's proud of her South Asian descent. Now she stands before you Negroes as a black woman. Stop trying to identify with people who only identify with you to gain your support, and then they kick you to the curb once their goals are realized. See, the alphabet community is notorious for this. Black immigrants who don't understand the struggles we have had here jump on our struggle bandwagon. See, aren't we tired of people jumping on our suffering to advance their own agendas? Nielsen did research, and it said that the median household income for foreign-born blacks is 30% higher than U.S.-born blacks. And it said the black immigrant population, what did they say? They had a higher number of entrepreneurs, I guess I should say. And they actually have a better ability than native-born blacks to keep their dollars in their own communities. See, they create jobs in their communities. They buying products from the entrepreneurs in their communities. They recycle the dollars in their community, which actually contributes to their economic independence and wealth creation. See, every other dark-skinned culture benefits from the fights and struggles of our ancestors except us. Aren't we tired of it yet? Now, as we get closer to the election, they're inundating us with ads for Kamala Harris. And you know, before I really get into that, because this is not going to be long, I don't think. In 1860, 99% of blacks in America were employed by white people. In 2024, 98% of blacks are employed by white people. So have we really advanced? But they're inundating us with ads on Harris. And see, one of the ads that they run the most is the one where she talks about a person's right to decide what to do with her body. Now, I'm going to be honest. You know, a lot of the times the TV's on in the house. If I'm in the same room with my wife. And, you know, she can say that, you know, we saw something on TV before. And I don't remember. You know, but I do listen. And I don't even have to look at the TV when the ads come on. And my wife is even at the point, she said, I can't wait till all of this foolishness is over. And, but I get it. But they're inundating with her ads. And she talks about a person's right to decide what to do with their body, specifically talking about women being able to abort / murder their babies. But it's amazing because she was one of the advocates for forcing people to take the juicy juice. She loves to talk about rights, doesn't she? Because, see, the reason I said that is because she is actually against the First Amendment, which guarantees free speech. Now, how can I say that? She is excited about Brazil shutting down Twitter and said she would take the exact same measures to stop misinformation once she's elected. First of all, the First Amendment doesn't say free speech except misinformation. It says the right to free speech, period. She says she's going to go after everybody who promotes misinformation online. Well, that's amazing because government, which she is a part of, promotes misinformation every time they open their mouth. I mean, look at the story they gave us about 9/11. Look at the story they gave us about Pearl Harbor. Look at the story they gave us about the Cuban Missile Crisis. Look at the story they gave us about JFK. Look at the story they gave us about the Titanic. Look at the story they gave us about the moon landing. But she want to talk about misinformation. If the government is telling the truth to us, why do they have to classify everything? If pharmaceutical companies are telling us the truth, why do they want to suppress their information for 75 years? If they're telling us the truth, 75 years from now, everybody who participated in that, for the most part, is going to be dead. And then the people that are living at that time won't even understand what caused the problems in their family line of health, because all of the people who participated in that will be gone. So, government is the biggest misinformation platform out there. She says she will eliminate misinformation. Well, I saw something the other day, you know, because one of her ads talked about how she worked at McDonald's. Well, McDonald's was contacted about her ad that said she worked there, and they said they have no record of her ever working for them. She said her and Tim Walz are gun owners, and she is not going after anyone's gun. Well, that's misinformation, because she has said on multiple occasions that she plans on implementing mandatory buybacks, mandatory confiscation, and a ban on importation of assault weapons. Well, the Second Amendment does not say the right to bear arms except for what Democrats term weapons of war, what Democrats call assault weapons. It does not say the right to bear arms except for what Democrats term assault weapons. Everything used in self-defense is an assault weapon. Everything used to attack other people is an assault weapon. A bat is an assault weapon. A knife is an assault weapon. A bow and arrow is an assault weapon. Hands of a trained fighter are assault weapons. So when you hear Democrats say assault weapons, that term can cover a multitude of things. Why do people in positions of power, surrounded by a multitude of protection devices, what they term assault weapons, want to disempower you from protecting yourself and your family? Black people hate the 3/5 compromise because they said the government never treated us as a full human being. You know, that's amazing that black folks said that, because Democrats, which Harris is, said that black people are not fully human. And you might be asking, when did Democrats and Harris say that? They say it all the time. But most people, especially black folks, don't know how to listen. They call it abortion. They say all the time that a fetus is not a baby. They love to use science for everything until it comes to when does life begin and when people are confused about their gender. The last Supreme Court justice that was appointed, Brown, Ketanji Brown, said she doesn't know what a female is. Science says there are two genders. The Bible says there are two genders. Science says life begins at conception. The Bible says I knew you before you were formed in your mother's womb. Democrats say life doesn't begin until a baby is outside the womb. And a person doesn't know their gender until they decide what it is. So the Bible said there are two genders. The Bible said the life begins before formation. But black people's first God, Democrats, say forget about what the true father of the Bible says and support us no matter how ungodly the things are that we promote. Harris says she wants to protect your rights, huh? Well, what about the Fifth Amendment? You know, the one that grants a person due process? How many black men were locked up by Harris in spite of evidence proving they were innocent, just in order for her to get another notch under her prosecution belt? Most black people don't even realize that she had to be forced to release someone by a judge because she refused to do so with all the evidence in her face and on her desk. She refused to do so because she enjoyed the free labor of black men that the state of California was receiving at the expense of destroying black men's and families' lives. Excuse me. Falsely accusing and imprisoning someone is no different than slavery. Who suffered the most under slavery? Black men, black women, black children. Who suffers the most when, I'm not talking about the criminal element, but who suffers the most when black men are falsely sentenced to prison or sentenced to prison for life under Jim Crow Joe Biden's 3 strikes laws for marijuana? Who suffers the most? Black men, black women, and black children. So, Democrats ran a slave trade that enslaved black men, black women, black children. Democrats created the 3 strikes law, which enslaved black men, black women, black children. And yet we still out here voting for them? We got to be the stupidest people on this planet. Don't tell my wife I said that, but when she listens, she'll catch it anyway. So, false imprisonment is no different than slavery. You know, like I said, wasn't it Democrats that ran and supported the slave trade anyway? I honestly, now this is just me. I know a lot of other black men, but I don't honestly see how any black man can support this woman with the way she treats black men. And, there's speculation out there. I don't know for certain. I'm just saying, what some others have said, that the reason she treats black men the way she does is because her father divorced her mother when she was age 7. So she has a hatred for black men. Her daddy was Indian Jamaican. Half Indian, half Jamaican. Mama was 100% Asian Indian. So that in reality makes her 75% Asian. I mean, that's just the way my math works. But I don't see how any black man can support this woman. And I can't believe black people, period, are supporting her at all, seeing how she took away many good black men from being protectors and providers for our families. Our black women are the least married in this country. Some choose to be, some don't. Because many of their potential mates are locked away in prisons because of false convictions and zealous prosecutors. Harris violated the Sixth Amendment in many of her cases because the accused did not realize she was the accuser. Harris says she's all about rights, but she violated the rights of many black men via the Eighth Amendment with cruel and unusual punishment. Harris says she believes in protecting rights, huh? The Ninth Amendment is supposed to protect an individual's rights from government infringement. Have you been listening to anything that I've said so far? Black people don't care when it comes to identity politics. Black people don't care when it comes to their rights being trampled on, as long as it's Democrats doing it. Talk to you later.